Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel, where we unpack the biggest political stories shaping South Africa and the rest of the continent. If you're passionate about justice, power, and the future of African leadership, then you're in the right place. Please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Let's get into it. Today we're diving deep into a powerful and increasingly viral comparison between two African leaders, former South African President Jacob Zuma and Burkina Faso's transitional military leader, Captain Ibrahim Traoré. One is a veteran of the struggle against apartheid with nearly a decade of presidential experience. The other, a youthful and defiant figure who seized power in a 2022 coup and has been hailed by many across the continent as a symbol of new generation leadership. But what's triggered the comparison between Zuma and Traoré? And why is it gaining such traction now? The debate exploded online in the wake of reports suggesting that Jacob Zuma is attempting a political comeback through the newly launched Umkhonto we Sizwe, or MK party. Zuma has been positioning himself as the face of a new movement, openly defying the ANC leadership he once commanded. Despite his age, ongoing legal troubles, and political baggage, Zuma appears determined to return to the political front lines. Meanwhile, Ibrahim Traoré is being praised by a growing number of African youth for his swift and bold leadership in Burkina Faso, a nation long plagued by instability, terrorism, and foreign interference. In under 2 years, Traoré has promised to remove neo-colonial influence, tackle internal security threats, and restore pride in national sovereignty. To many across Africa, especially on social media, he's viewed as a strongman who walks the talk, a sharp contrast to what they see as the talk shop politics of Zuma's era. The comparison is scathing. Critics of Zuma argue that he had 9 full years at the helm of one of Africa's most advanced economies, yet left behind a legacy marred by corruption scandals, hollowed-out institutions, and what some describe as state capture on an industrial scale. Zuma had 9 years to do what Traoré has done in 2, reads one viral post. Now he wants another chance, while on his deathbed, just to regain control of the ANC and resume looting. That last line stings, and whether you agree with it or not, it reflects the real anger and mistrust some South Africans feel about Zuma's attempted political comeback. So what's driving this comeback? Many analysts believe Zuma's true goal isn't national transformation, but reclaiming power inside the ANC. After being forced out by his own party in 2018 and replaced by President Cyril Ramaphosa, Zuma has become a thorn in the ANC's side, frequently undermining the leadership, attending court over corruption allegations, and now launching his own political vehicle. The MK party, which bears the name of the ANC's former armed wing, is seen by many as Zuma's personal revenge campaign. It's attracting disillusioned ANC supporters, particularly in KwaZulu-Natal, and threatening to split the liberation movement in the most critical election year since 1994. But critics aren't buying the rebrand. They argue that Zuma's time in office was a disaster, one that saw massive looting of state resources, the erosion of public trust, and a near collapse of key institutions like Eskom, SARS, and the NPA. Zuma's refusal to testify before the Zondo Commission, and his defiance of the Constitutional Court, only deepened suspicions about his regard for the rule of law. Compare that with Ibrahim Traoré, who, while unelected and still controversial, has portrayed himself as a man on a mission to rescue his country from the grip of foreign-controlled security agendas and deepening insecurity. Traoré's rise followed years of frustration with French military presence, ineffective governance, and endless cycles of violence in Burkina Faso. Since assuming office, he's moved to terminate military deals with France, embrace stronger Pan-Africanist rhetoric, and even praised figures like Thomas Sankara, the legendary revolutionary once assassinated for challenging Western dominance. Now, Traoré's government is not without criticism. Human rights groups have raised concerns about crackdowns on dissent, restrictions on press freedom, and allegations of abuses committed by security forces. But the contrast with Zuma remains stark in the eyes of many Africans who are hungry for results, not rhetoric. One is seen as a symbol of failed leadership, old guard politics, and elite enrichment. The other is viewed, rightly or wrongly, as a disruptor challenging the status quo and bringing a new kind of defiance to African governance. But here's the uncomfortable truth: both figures represent deeper currents running through African politics today. On one hand, Zuma reflects the legacy of liberation movements that, after winning freedom, struggled to convert that victory into lasting development and accountable leadership. The ANC, like many liberation parties across the continent, has become entangled in corruption, factionalism, and stagnation, with Zuma often at the center of these problems. On the other hand, Traoré embodies the growing rejection of that post-liberation political order. The rise of military coups in West Africa, from Mali to Guinea to Niger and now Burkina Faso, signals a dramatic shift. Young Africans are no longer impressed by struggle credentials; they want delivery, dignity, and sovereignty. This is the political crossroads at which South Africa also finds itself. As the country prepares for the 2024 national elections, Zuma's re-entry into politics poses serious questions. Can a leader facing corruption charges, who was once jailed for contempt of court, really offer a new path forward? Or is this simply a return to the politics of patronage and factional battles? Moreover, what does it say about the ANC's internal cohesion that a former president can openly challenge the party and still maintain influence among millions? Zuma's MK party has already shaken up the electoral map, especially in KZN, where traditional ANC support is now splintered. Whether the party performs well in the polls or not, its presence guarantees that Zuma will remain a central figure in South Africa's political drama. Meanwhile, the popularity of leaders like Traoré in other parts of the continent highlights a hunger for bold, fearless, and, yes, sometimes authoritarian responses to Africa's long-standing problems. It's a double-edged sword, but it tells us that the era of slow-moving, corruption-prone governance is running out of runway. In closing, the comparison between Jacob Zuma and Ibrahim Traoré is more than just a social media trend. It's a mirror held up to Africa's soul. One image reflects the past, a familiar story of squandered opportunity, broken institutions, and political recycling. The other represents a risky, untested, but determined push toward African autonomy and generational change. The choice, for South Africans and Africans at large, is not just about leaders. It's about the kind of future we want to build. Thank you for watching. If you found this video insightful, please give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and let us know in the comments, do you think Jacob Zuma deserves another shot in politics? And is Ibrahim Traoré really the new face of African leadership? See you next time.